Aren't there other kids of yours? I saw on the cruise you had others.
Oh, family, like nieces and nephews.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a father,
Yeah.
how do you inspire him? I know he sees through your actions, on your channel and all that. I see him make guest appearances and stuff.
Yeah.
But how do you inspire him when he's, hit the wall, so to speak? Like, how do you speak to him? Because you speak to an audience that's a little older.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to see you speak to a younger audience. I think I told you.
Yeah.
Every day on the way to school, my kids watch your channel.
Yeah.
And I'm driving, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to empower them to get past what holds them back.
Yeah.
And they know your song and all that. And they're like, hey. But I just, and we use multiple YouTube creators to kind of empower them.
Yeah.
Because that's his downtime in the car.
Yeah.
So what do you do to try to empower your son?
Well, first of all, I appreciate that, and it's one of the main reasons why I cut all the swearing out of all the videos in the channel, because a lot of parents watch it with their kids, and a lot of schools use the content too. And I don't personally swear, like I never swear, but for me, a couple things. One, every time I'm leaving my son, so like take him in for bed or goes to school or whatever, we'll always end with Carmichael's can do, and he'll say anything. Like Carmichael's can't do anything. Carmichael's, like our last name. Carmichael's can't do anything.
Yeah.
Right? So like anytime, so that's how we'll always leave a conversation, going to bed or anything else. Carmichael's can't do anything. So I'll say Carmichael's can do, and he'll go anything. Right? So just to instill like the belief and confidence. I learn through him too, and then try to find the lessons and bring it back to him. So we try to celebrate weirdness as an example.
Socks.
Yeah, the socks, right? So the sock store. So like if you guys haven't heard, like he loves wearing different colored socks, and initially it's like, well, no, you have to. I'm thinking you have to match your socks because that's how we're trained as adults, right? And then as soon as I'm saying the words, you have to go get the matching socks. Like, what am I saying? You have to go get the matching sock. We need to embrace the weirdness. So I encouraged the multiple socks, and then I wore different colored socks. And then I went to my dance studio and was doing a class and like showed off my multicolored socks, one gray and one white. It's like you're not supposed to do it. So like celebrating the weirdness. So when anybody at school calls him weird or different, awesome. That's great. That's the best, right? And then whenever there are lessons, I try to like my mom did for me. There's always another step. So, for example, we talked about bullying, and he was being bullied by a kid at school, and like all kids growing up, like we've all been bullied, I'm sure at some point, unless you were the bully, But probably not here if you were the bully. And so helping him through that, but then not just the lessons of like, okay, just ignore him, don't antagonize him, like play with a different group of friends, don't worry about it. I also add in, and if you ever see anybody else being bullied younger than you, then you have to go and help them. Step up. Right? Whether it's like, it doesn't mean you have to get in the middle of the fight and and break it up, but even if it's at the end, just going and hugging the little kid, or just being their friend, being with them after they've been bullied. Like as an older kid, it's your responsibility. So he's like, in grade 3, but you look at the grade 1s, like go help out the grade 1. And so like always a little extra step. So that, he reads the book a page a day from the top 10 rules of success. We talk about it afterwards. He watches some of the videos. More around the confidence ones. His one word is confidence, so like finding that and like building that through. And then I think they get inspired just from the actions, right? Like how you live versus just what you say.
You have your word.
Yeah, and I think
integrity.
I think a big thing for parents too is I think we shelter kids too much, and I think what ends up happening is it feels hard to measure up to your parents. Right? Because your kid could look at you and say, wow, like, Dad's amazing. And as they grow older, it's like, how did he have it all figured out? Like, everything he did was great. And he was always happy. He had it all figured out. Meanwhile, like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
None of us know what we're doing. Right? And so, like, then they feel it's hard to measure up to their parents. And so I think showing some of the hardships, some of the struggles, some of the things they're worried about, and that you don't leave them on a negative, that you still have hope. That, like, how do you deal with a setback in your life, in your business, in the weather, like whatever is happening around you? How do you deal admitting that there is a problem and then working through how to solve it, I think is a great tool to give, because otherwise they feel less than. They feel like you're perfect, and then they can't measure up. And then when they're 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, it's like, I suck. Like, that was awesome, and I suck, which is not what I want to give to myself.
Yeah.